Hello, Rebel Scientists. Today we are going to be starting a new unit, and that unit is called Reproduction. So let's see what the state of Texas says you're supposed to learn. It says in 714b, they want you to compare the results of uniform, and I have in parentheses there that the word uniform means the same, or diverse, and the word diverse means different, offspring from asexual or sexual reproduction. So let's break up the rest of those words and see what the heck they mean. Okay, so here's some of the vocabulary. So first of all, just what does reproduction mean? So in biology, which is the study of living things, it's a process by which new individuals, new life, new organisms, offspring are produced. How are new organisms made? We call it reproduction. And we're going to see that there's two types of reproduction. The first type is called sexual reproduction. And it's reproduction that involves the coming together of genetic material from two parents as to produce an offspring. Okay? So here we have a male and we have a female, whatever, and by parents, it can be trees or bananas or corn or sloths or anything that's a living organism. The male and female version of them come together, their genes come together and make a whole new organism, a new offspring. So sexual reproduction requires a male and a female. That means two parents are needed to produce an offspring. The next word we're going to cover is asexual reproduction, but I have some notes there. It says A or AN equals not or without. When you see the prefix of A or AN in front of a word you already know, like sexual, in this case asexual, the A or the AN means without. Okay? Asexual reproduction means without two parents coming together. Okay? Sexual reproduction is two parents coming together. Asexual means you don't have to have two parents. It says asexual reproduction. Let me move that down. Sorry. Asexual reproduction is an organism creates an identical copy of itself, a clone. So you only need one parent. So here we see one amoeba, and when it's time to make more of itself, it's just going to divide. So you don't have genes of one parent and two parents coming together to make another individual. Here we have just the genes from this one organism that splits in two. It copies its genetic information. It splits in two. And now each of these new ones are identical to this one that it began as. So two parents in sexual reproduction, one parent in asexual reproduction. And here's our example. So when something divides, the genes are going to be exactly the same. Okay, so the word genetically identical means organisms that have the same genes. Okay, so you might know someone who's an identical twin. And I've had lots during the 15 years that I've taught. Kids that are identical twins. And at first I think like, oh my God, I can't tell them apart. And then after a couple of weeks, I can tell them apart. Because even though their genes are exactly the same, sometimes they don't end up looking exactly the same. And sometimes it's, a scar or something, or one is chubbier, or the other one is skinnier, or the eyes look just a little different. But if we took a sample of their blood and tested their genes, we would see that they're the same person. Okay? And I've heard of true crime stories where there were identical twins and one evil twin killed somebody or killed the other one. And, the police didn't know who was who because when you take their blood sample, their DNA, it's identical. It's the same. Alrighty? So these are the words that we're going to be using for this week. Reproduction means you're making a new organism. Sexual reproduction, it involves two parents to make a new organism. Asexual reproduction is only one parent is needed, and you can still make organisms, but they're going to be clones to the parent. And genetically identical means just that. Their genes are exactly the same. So we will continue tomorrow with asexual reproduction and then sexual reproduction later in the week. Have a good day.